Hi, I'm DIYte, and today I'm going to share with you my experiences of soundproofing an upstairs floor of our cottage by putting Rockwool in between the floor joists. Okay, in today's toolkit we've got the Rockwool itself, which is the sound insulation for partition walls and floors. It comes in slabs. In terms of the cutting, I've got three different methods to show you here. I've got an old saw, I've got a pair of scissors, and I've got a carving knife. All three work really well. I'll be demonstrating that in the video. You can also buy insulation saws like this, but to be honest with you, the reviews of these have been fairly mixed, and I get a really good result by using one of these three methods, and I think whichever one works best for you. And then finally, I've ripped up the old floorboards and I am replacing them with sheets of this. It's 1.2 by 2.4 metre sheets of chipboard, which has interlocking corners. I've also got some protective gloves and a mask. It's actually a reasonably clean product to work with, but it is a good idea to have these with you. And I've also got a tape measure and a marker pen to mark off the areas that need to be cut off the acoustic slabs. Now, I tried this 6 months ago on my son's bedroom floor. I bought this acoustic roll from Knauf, ripped up the floorboards and put the acoustic roll in between these floor joists. I then put the floorboards back down and I used an acoustic sealant to pipe in between floorboards. Then, on top of all that, I bought some very dense 3mm rubber matting, put that on top, overlaid that, 2 layers of that on top of the floorboards. And I've got to say, the result was a complete waste of time. It's absolutely rubbish. Still hear sound up through the floor. So this time I'm doing up another room in our house. We've got a little cupboard here. Underneath the cupboard we've got noisy tumble dryer and washing machine, and also the kitchen. So it's my daughter's bedroom and I'm trying to make this cupboard as quiet as possible. So this time I'm going with a different approach, and I'm using Rockwool Sound Insulation for partition walls and floors. Now, whereas the Knauf Acoustic Roll is really light, it's almost, I actually think this is much better for heat insulation rather than soundproofing. The Rockwool, in comparison, is much denser. The Rockwool is a stone-based insulation. It's got a non-directional fibre orientation according to the Rockwool website, and it's high density. The idea of this is it traps sound and it dampens vibration. You can already tell looking at it how much denser it is, and that's the key in between floor joists. You want something really dense that's going to stop the sound getting through the floor. So as you can see, I've already taken up the floorboards and I've put some of the Rockwool in between the floor joists. The way I'm doing this is I'm measuring the area that needs to be, and I'm just adding a couple of centimetres to each dimension so that it fits really snug. These joists are not equally spaced, unfortunately. So I've got a slab of the Rockwool. As usual, I'm sort of making this up as I go along, but I've got a nice straight edge here. It's an old bit of metal ducting or something that I found. I've got a marker pen. I'm going to go 79.5. The great thing about this stuff is it marks really easily. So here's my marker pen. Got a nice straight line there. Probably a good idea to put some protective gloves on when you're cutting it, and a lot of people recommend a mask as well. There we go. Now, I've used a few different things to cut this with over the last few days. You've got an old pair of scissors that are reasonably sharp. Scissors cut quite nicely. Alternatively, some people use a knife. Again, I've got a carving knife here. That goes through beautifully. Or you could use an old saw. Again, that does the job quite nicely. I'm going to use this knife. Rockwool in between joists. Okay, so I've now put the Rockwool between every single joist, and we're ready for the next stage, which is putting the flooring back down. Bought these interlocking chipboard floorboard sheets, which I think is going to give a much better acoustic result than the floorboards that I had in previously. So it's quite difficult to come across in this video, but I've got the tumble dryer on downstairs now, and whereas before it was a massive din, it's been reduced now to a sort of a low, distant hum. It's not completely eliminated the noise, but it's a massive reduction on what we had before. And don't forget, I haven't got the underlay or the carpet down yet, which will also help. There are other things that you can do as well, like for example putting an acoustic matting down before you apply your underlay and your carpet. Something like this. But really it depends on what exactly you're setting out to achieve and how much money you want to throw at the problem. So I really hope you found today's video useful. If you've got any thoughts or comments, do leave them below the video. It's always great to hear from you all. And if you're new to this channel, I'd love to have you subscribe, which you can do by clicking on the link here.